Hi, my name is Joan, and this is how I wrote, directed, produced, and starred in a short film in only 2 weeks. So, 2 weeks, that doesn't sound, like long, and it really wasn't. But also, everyone who knows me, I'm literally a procrastinator, and I also do stuff very last minute. So not only was this thing very last minute, I've had a big issue with resistance in the past when it comes to completing big projects like a short film. And so I really accomplished it. So I'm just basically going to talk about my journey of making the short film and the inspiration that came about, what I used for pre-production, how production was, and what post-production looked like. I'm very excited to do this video because I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. I'm very excited to share. So the inspiration of this film came from me hating Tim Hortons. So the reason why I don't eat anything from Tim Hortons is because it's very dry and it seems like they just slathered all the ingredients together and then they melted it thinking that the cheese was enough. It was not. So when my best friend Melika shared about the Dream Store Shorts Film Festival, I was trying to rack my brain for an idea that I can do in less than 10 minutes. This idea kind of came up as a joke because oh yeah, I can talk about how cheese is not a sauce. So it's how can we rework that into a story? And so I was I'll do a news story on it because I think people need to know that cheese is not enough. And I absolutely hate when restaurants don't put sauces on their sandwiches. It's so annoying. And then it kind of blew from there. And I think what's so funny about it is that's just stupid. It's a stupid idea. It's a stupid premise. I like stupid humor when it's done well, or personally when I just like it. Sometimes it doesn't hit, but sometimes it does. And for me, this is just one of those things that it just hit. I think the premise is just so funny. It's so funny because who would dedicate a whole news story to why cheese is not a sauce? And then so once I came up with the inspiration, I was kind of racking my brain to what this would look like as a news story. And I was inspired by other news stories meme stories like the Bella Noche women, the I Like Turtles kid, the Bill Maher breakdown. I was trying to think of notorious moments in news history that I can kind of parody. And so once I got that, I went to pre-production. And so basically the timeline is I found out of the Dream Store Festival submission date was 2 weeks before it ended. So it was mid-August. So I had 2 weeks to essentially make this film out of thin air. And so that week, found out my casting, let them know, and I worked on my pre-production plan. And so now I'm actually going to walk through the template that I used for pre-production. And honestly, I looked long and hard for one because as much as I love Notion, I'm that type of person that I would rather take a template and then remix it for myself. And sometimes I'll create something, but then I'll find something that's works way better. And it's just you know what? I'll just take it. That's why Notion is so cool. This is not sponsored, but one day I will be sponsored by Notion. I love it so much. I'm literally making my second brain there, but that's a whole nother video. So let's go on to my filmmaking template. So we are now on the filmmaking base camp for the short film. And so I got this template from, what's his name? Dippin' Chanel. So this is where I got the template from. I'm gonna post a link in my bio, but this is it right here. And this is basically what I used. And so as we scroll, this is the script of breaking news. I'll put that up really quickly. Yeah, so it's 4 pages. This is basically it. I'll also link the script down below. And pretty short, didn't take me that long to do. And so in here, they kind of break it down. When I originally got it, there is the scenes, the shoot, people, location, grip, equipment, lighting, wardrobe, props, film bible, and retrospective. Now, these, obviously this is my first time kind of working with Notion and this specific template, and so I just kind of worked with it. And obviously the more projects that I do, the more I'll probably go into it. And so here we have everything broken down by scene. And so we have all the scene numbers, we have the scene description, the shoot date, what stage we're at, and at the time I was prepping, so that is the stage everything is at. And then we have the crew, which is basically just me. And then we have the scene location, we have the equipment, we have the wardrobe, we have the props, and then that's really it. And so doing a scene breakdown of your script into the base camp is crucial. And honestly, doing this for me, even though I know it's like a short film, it's like you still have to go through the process of like a film. So even though it's just me doing everything, this helped so much, and I think this helped smooth over when production was happening. And so each scene, or more like each break in the script, is a scene to me, because I'm not trying to do that 1A, 2B, like I ain't got time for that. So everything was just like one, right? And then so funny enough, a lot of things really did change as production went along, but we'll get there. And so for the shoot, this is basically the shooting list. So this is like the type of shot, the call time, what order we're shooting in, if it's interior, exterior, time of day, what kind of movement there is, the description, and then any, you know, notes or anything like that. And then also the people in the scenes. And so another thing too is that just because your scenes are 1 through 8 does not mean you're shooting in that particular order. Since I was shooting with tons of different people, I wanted to get those scenes out the way first. Like, if anything, if you're shooting with other people, do their scenes first. And if you're doing scenes by yourself, just do it by yourself. And so that is what I did here. And so, yeah, so that is what we have. Everything's pretty basic. Like, everything was a static shot. Nothing really moved. It was always a medium shot, mid-length. Like, I only did a couple of close-ups, like not a lot. And yeah, so, and funny fact, everything was shot in one day, which is great. I was not trying to, I was kind of cutting it close to deadline anyway. And so I was like, no, let's kind of keep it moving. And then we have our locations here, which we did not use. We did not use all of their locations. And so, yeah, so this is what we have. And it was pretty limited to begin with, which is fine. And then we have the equipment, which is literally just 2 cameras. We have the Canon M50 and then the Canon Rebel T7, which was out of focus when we shot, but I did use some, you know, some clips. And then we have the wardrobe, which is pretty much like anyone can just come as they are. Niall, my fiance, played the news anchor. He just wore literally a button down and like shorts. And then I just wore a pretty dress because I don't really have a pantsuit. I will eventually, but I do not have one now. And so, and then for props, we had a small amount of props. Basically, I only had to bring like a sandwich, some napkins, my hand microphone. Everything else was just in my apartment. And then, oop, we were just there. And then here's the film Bible, which has the mood board, anything for the field location, and then post-production. And so these I kind of left blank because I just knew what I wanted to do, and I kind of wrote it in my journal anyway because I have an editing journal, so I didn't really use that part. The only part I really used was the mood board. And then so here, the only thing I put was just inspiration of different like news articles, like just kind of like the vibe I wanted, obviously the Bella Noche girls. And so that was really it. And so once I was done with pre-production, I moved on to production. So we moved on to production. Production was one day. It was on a Saturday, and it started pretty bright and early. I met with Anna, who was in the first scene. I met with her at like 9:30, 10 a.m. and we did her scenes. It was a fun time. We went to the Sayona Mile. It was so much fun, and like it was fun to actually like work with other people, like especially my friends, because I am doing my best to network more and just network more with like different film people, ask the people in my life if they want to do something, because it's easy. And like it's just something I'm really actively working on, and something that the short film really did for me was push me out of my boundaries, because I had to ask for help, because I was also a director, so I almost had to like move things around. I had to tell Anna, you know, what I wanted her to do, you know, and it was just very interesting because I never really had to do that before. The only other times that I was in that situation was because I was a PA, but to do it myself, it was a big leap for me. And once I got done shooting her scenes, I was actually supposed to shoot scenes with the second person, my friend Sabrina, but she was dealing with some family stuff, and it wasn't like bad, it's just time got ahead of her, and so we actually did not shoot her scenes. She's actually cut out from the film entirely. And you know, I was kind of bummed out about it, but you know, things do happen during production, and so instead I just hung out with her for an hour. Fun time, well break. It was really hot, and then I went to my apartment, and then I met up with my two sisters, Shawanda and Ashley, and then we filmed their scenes on my patio. And then instead of me just going to a strip mall instead, I actually filmed it outside my apartment by this pond, and so that's where I did my scenes. And then the only person left to shoot with was Niall, my fiance, and so we were shooting the next day. So his scenes were the next day on the 21st, and we went to the library. We got some clips here, and now working with him was also very interesting because he wants to be an actor, he wants to do voice acting, and so me giving him directions was just very hard for him. And so like that's something we both had to work out, because you know, I want a certain vision and I have to get in the mindset of working with people who do not see it, and so I have to, you know, get them to trust that I know what I want. And so that was also a new experience as well. And you know, I love Niall, he's gonna be my future husband, and I thought he did a really good job on this film as well. And that was really it for production. Production was pretty short, again, because it's a short film, and I had so much fun doing it. Like, I love doing it with my sisters and Anna and Niall, and even with myself. Like, it was really fun, and it kind of seeped into like why I want to do this for a living, like why I want to do more shoots, because it is fun. Like, once you're really in it, you're in it, and it's fun to do it with people who also get in it too. And now we're on to post-production. And so post-production, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted. And so, like I mentioned earlier, this is my editing journal. It's from Muji, because I freaking love this. I love Muji. Like, when I went to New York, I bought, like, this is from the New York store of Muji in Williamsburg, and I love the way the paper looks. I love the way it writes. This is what I did for breaking news. So it's literally just a couple lines. It's actually not that long, but this one's kind of easy. Like, this is what I kind of wanted, because I was trying to frame everything like a news report. So like, how do people in news reports typically edit? And so that's what I did here. All these other graphics that I did, I took right from Canva. Like, so here I wanted, of course, a breaking news, you know, intro, outro. So this is basically what I use for all the graphics. And basically, if I just needed a new page, I would just create a new one. And so here we have this is just the film intro. This is the clip of the sandwich, and like, this just looks so realistic. This is just an end screen because I just was trying something here. It did not work out. If we keep scrolling, this is just the template, and then that's what the finished model. This intro is like, it's just so, it reminds me of 10 TV, and that was also the vibe I wanted to do with the intro. Like, I wanted it to look like 10 TV. And then this is the picture frame, like, you know, when the newscasters are sitting and they have their picture next to it. That is what I wanted. And so this is literally all I use. Like, Canva is really that bitch. Like, Canva really is that bitch. Like, I feel like even the most seasoned people, editors, videographers, filmmakers still use Canva because it's that bitch. Like, it's only $12 a month. That is basically what I did. I took it and then I kind of framed everything down. It took me about, I would say, 1 afternoon, like 6 hours to edit it. And that's only because I was working on the Canva slides, I was working on some voiceover, and I turned it in by Tuesday morning, literally on the deadline. And I shared it with my coworkers. They really loved it. They really loved it. I shared it with my friends and family. I shared it online. It's just so funny. It's so stupid and funny, and it's very unique. Like, I think it's a very unique premise for a short film. Something that I just did for 2 minutes. And again, I had such a fun time. And basically the reason why I'm filming this retrospective is this is mainly for myself, honestly. This is just myself telling me, because come in like 2 months or something, or in 4 months, or in 6 months, where I'm down to myself and I watch my old videos, because I do, okay? I watch my old videos and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, like, who is this person? I wish I was this person. This video is showing proof that you can do a film. You can do a film even on the smallest scale. And to do a film on the biggest scale, you have to do films that are this small first. You have to do it first. I'm very excited. I finally sat down and made this video. I'm excited to show everyone what I worked on. There's gonna be more videos like this in the future. Like, this is just gonna be the first of many. I'm very excited to see what else I'm going to make in the coming years. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had such a great time making it, and I'm excited to keep creating for the month of September. So I'll see you guys in the next one.